By 2006, northern Uganda was approaching the end of the 20 years of the brutal Lord's Resistance Army insurgency, a war that left the region drained socially and economically. Lives were lost, about 2 million displaced from their homes, while hundreds of thousands of others were abducted. Now, about 15 years after the war, the region seems to be on a steady path of recovery. A walk through most of the urban centers in the Acholi sub-region would leave one to believe that all is well now. However, to the direct victims of the war, this is far from the reality. Children born in captivity and their mothers still face stigma.
Some other family don't want to show us you are their daughters, but your children they don't want. As a mother, you cannot reject your blood.
Stella Lalam was 10 years old when she was abducted by the LRA rebels, but she later escaped from captivity and returned home. She later founded an organization known as War Victims and Children Networking to highlight the challenges faced by war victims.
We go to the cultural leaders and sometimes we move together in the community. We do the community dialogue.
Lalam notes that a number of former war victims have been rejected by some members of the community after returning from captivity.
Those taking it, you came back with the children, sometimes 5 children, 4, 3, 1. You are bringing their burden.
The community has a bit of anguish and bitterness. Some family members will receive a returnee, and yet the neighbors in the community are still upset. They're still seeing these children as rebels.
The Acholi society had mechanisms of reabsorbing these individuals back into society. The fact that some of these systems got degraded over the years is the reason why we will get stigmatization.
Rita Iwelo, a legal officer with FIDA Uganda, says that although the returnees were rehabilitated, very little was done to prepare the community to live with them again. She says this explains the spike in land-related conflicts in Acholi sub-region.
Like you find a number of, let's say, the women who have returned, they want to get back their land, but now they can't access their land since some people who were within the region have already taken over their land. A lot of these women, the returnees, let's say the formerly abducted women, they have come back, they're single mothers, half of their children have died. They don't really have the male protection within their family.
The fact that many interventions were not structured to deal with the long-term effects of conflict in the region, especially on the individuals that were directly affected by the war, means that these people are still facing significant problems in our society.
Government has been working on a new transitional justice policy to address post-conflict grievances and other concerns. After consultations with civil society and war-affected communities, the policy was revised and later submitted to Cabinet in 2017. After a long wait, Cabinet finally approved the policy in 2019. Although it is designed to support victims of war, some of the victims feel the policy has some gaps.
Find that we are going to build hospital, or we are going to do ABC, but not specific. Like me as a Stella, I was only young girl, 10 years. They spoiled my life, they didn't protect me. The government have to pay.
According to the LAM, the new policy should tackle education and livelihood challenges among victims of the 20-year-old war.
They'll give chance to our children to study. Because if I don't know where I come from, what do you think that I'm going to do? I don't know where my father come from. I'm back home with my mother. My mother don't have the capacity to pay me in the school. And I just been around.
Nelson Omoya, NTV.